Like
the final boss.
The final boss, George.
The final boss is a fat man in a Hawaiian shirt, and somehow he won. It's amazing.
Start that off. Time.
No, go ahead. You're doing great. You're already halfway through. Keep going, baby.
All right, everyone. Hey, welcome back to Metazoo be with you, a Flesh and Blood podcast. Hope
How many
you guys
takes
are
does
having
this take you?
a great day. We are in this is episode like 15, 16, 14, somewhere around there. Who
Is it
knows?
really that big?
It's like if
You've
you
done
guys
that
think
many?
we planned this, we just talked about what we're going to talk about today. So this is unplanned as usual.
You're getting our hot takes.
Unplanned hot takes. I'm sure.
You're doing great at
Which is
introducing
the
us, by the
worst
way.
thing
Make sure you
ever.
know that, bud.
My
I'm a
name's
verbal
Louis.
processor.
My name's Louis. I'm from KitchenTableTCG. To my left, I think, is Mitch from Midtown Merchant, the greatest single store in the entire universe. Use your discount
Not
code
true.
Be Kind to save $5 off your order of $50 or more. And below me is George, who owns fleshandblood.com, where you cannot purchase any Flesh and Blood product.
Not yet. One day, LSS will decide to bless me with boxes, and I will bless you with boxes.
There you go.
It is a pass-through blessing, but I must get blessed first.
There you go.
That how
So
that
we are going to talk about a
Well,
few things
distribution.
today.
It's
There
called
is
salvation.
there's a lot of we're going to call them taco rumors. There's a lot of rumors going around about unlimited OOP. Rudy's made some posts, so we're going to talk about unlimited and what we think about it potentially going OOP and what it will do to the market, to the players, to the stores.
Out of print.
OOP means out of print. Yes,
Not
I
everybody
think-
knows that, Louis. I'm just making sure.
That's important. We're gonna briefly touch on the Rudy promos since we've gotten some more information since I posted my video, and then we're gonna talk about the next set, which is George. What's the next set called?
Kingdoms, obviously.
We're gonna talk about Kingdoms. The next,
I think it's called
Flesh and Blood-
PVE Kingdoms. I don't know what the PVE stands for, but I think that's like the first part of the title.
the next Flesh and Blood set, and then we got the Metazoo minute. So, all right, let's hop in. So the rumors are, basically Rudy has posted in a few different places. It's ridiculous that people don't invest or don't buy up unlimited boxes because eventually they're going to go out of print and it's going to catch everybody off guard. And this is a quote unquote black swan event. I don't know how you can call something a black swan event if you're predicting it, because I think the whole black swan thing is like the unpredictable, but right? Is that not right?
No, but continue. You did great until your explanation. Continue.
Gotcha. So I don't know. What do you guys think? If unlimited goes out of print, let's call it at the end of the year. Let's say December. They say, hey, unlimited is
Like all unlimited, some unlimited.
I'm talking about Arcane Rising and WTR and maybe Crew. I don't know. Crew Unlimited doesn't seem to be that crazy right now. So who knows?
All unlimited.
No, I think they're going to continue to do unlimited. I mean, we've got Tales coming out in November, it seems.
Yeah, but that would be the last set that
I'm saying
crap
out
out
of
of
production
unlimited.
for the unlimited sets such as WTR and Arcane Rising.
So is the question that they print a limited amount of unlimited?
Yeah,
They
like
print to
obviously
demand and then they stop printing it?
the
Which they said they
argument-
were going to do.
Yeah, the argument is that they can't actually keep things in print forever because it takes up printer space and time and whatever. So if they come out and on the collector center, there's also question marks on the print run of WTR Unlimited and Arc Unlimited. So if they come out and say, okay, we printed 100,000 boxes of WTR Unlimited, what does that do?
I would assume they printed way more than 100, but
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I would think like
What's your estimate?
152K,
What's your-
200K.
I bet you it's
Quarter
closer
of a
to
million?
200,000.
Yeah.
I bet you it might be
Yeah.
more than that. God, I'll bet you I have sold. How many
I
did
mean,
I
we
get
talked to
from that?
Don. Don said he sold thousands of boxes.
Yeah,
of unlimited.
easily. I mean, like I'm wondering if I'm
Or
wondering if
over
I hit the
1,000.
10,000 mark for Welcome to Wraith and Arcane combined. I mean,
That's
like
insane, George. What the hell?
I have sold.
Are you selling like on TCG
March, I've
Player
sold-
instead of your site?
I don't. No, LSS doesn't think I deserve to be direct, so I can't sell through my website because I don't get enough product. I'm not Channel Fireball.
You sold 10,000 boxes and you didn't have enough to put them on your site?
No.
Well, you had them on your site back when you were selling boxes for 80, didn't you? Or
That's
you?
true. That's
That's
true.
true. I've sold.
That's actually how
500
George
total
and I
online.
met.
Yeah,
I
I
met
sold
George
500 total online
Yeah.
of
by looking at
unlimited.
him and and saying,
That's
"Hey,
crazy.
I can't get enough unlimited. Can you send me some?" And that's how George and I met.
Okay, so that's in the past.
Story. What?
Let's
If you
talk
don't
about.
play the Taylor Swift love story song there, Louis, you're doing a bad job at editing.
I don't edit the podcast.
Baby, just say yes.
I only edit the things that you guys say that you ask me then later to remove, so you don't
All
get
right,
in
can you please
trouble.
remove everything that's in this section that's not Taylor Swift's love song? Thank you in advance.
All right, I will get us started. I think
I
that
feel like I've already started us.
I think that going out of production for Unlimited would insert some money into the collectible side. I think you would see. We've seen on TCG Player. So this is I do the market updates and I searching. This is like they're on TCG Player once a week. There's a buyout of Unlimited Hearts, and like
somebody knows something.
You see it, and it says 8 purchased at $175, and that day there's like 10 more sold listings, and then there's like 3 days without a sold listing, and then 1 or 2 will sell, and then the next Monday or the next Tuesday or whatever it is, another
Every
10
paycheck.
dry up. It's either a paycheck or it's when somebody gets their little fingers and starts searching, and they have like a regular weekly search engine type thing that they do. So there is people who are buying those up. So when an unlimited heart goes out of production, and the most expensive version is, I don't know, what's an unlimited heart, or what's a cold foil heart right now?
They're like what, like 5K now, George?
Like 5, 7, 8, 9 grand?
25K, maybe
I'm
55K.
Yeah, right.
I think it was
55K for a 9.5.
Like
no, I think a 9.5 just sold for good money.
9.5 just sold
How
for
much?
30 grand.
Boom.
Oh, so it's cheaper. Nice.
So let's call a cold foil heart. Let's call it 12 to 15 grand. What does that do for an unlimited heart that's now out of production? Does that tick up and cause some stirring in the market and cause some money to move?
If an unlimited heart hits 1K before Monarch, I will burn everything to the ground. I just want to make sure that's very clear.
You're gonna pull a Rudy and just burn all your leftover.
I will burn all of my unlimited hearts if an unlimited heart gets to 1K before Monarch.
I'm guessing you have 0 unlimited hearts.
I got 5 of them, I think, for unlimited hearts.
Nice.
Are you holding unlimited hearts right now?
Yeah, are you not?
I just bought an unlimited heart for my.
Are you guys
for my Oldham? I just bought one for my Oldham.
I buy them from the store. My players only buy cards that they can play with, so I just get stuck with a bunch of hearts. And I'm too lazy to sell online. Unless LSS wants to bless me with the boxes, I'm too lazy to sell online, so I just kind of hold what people don't want.
Yeah, single stores, no joke.
So, like, I think that it brings some money into I think it allows.
What does this mean though for like the meta? Like,
this is the problem, right? Like
Dorinthia, Katsu, and who's the third one that was from WTR that did well with them?
Bravo.
Okay.
So those 3 were in the top 64, top 32.
Me and Ken, biggest players in compete sports.
We are transitioning then to the players.
Dash and Kano. Well, I hear you, but like I would argue that the biggest thing right now, and I've said this all week throughout Facebook. Sorry if people, I'm going on a soapbox. There are 2 things hindering right now. Fab, distribution, which we've talked about, and then just cards having intrinsic value. And like that's just in a general sense, and that could be because of box prices, that could be for plural things. And there's a lot of connectivity here and a lot of different variability or variables touching these things. That being said, I think that's also hindering player growth because cards don't have intrinsic value, or at least boxes don't for some of the unlimited product. There are a lot of stores that are not picking that up right now. But it sounds like you can't get unlimited boxes right now.
So it's very funny. Through maybe 2.5 months ago, one of the distributors, I won't say which, called me and was like, "Hey, do you want some WTRU?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll take I think I took 700 boxes." Jeez. And so that's fine. Like they were like, that's about a normal order for me when I restock for unlimited. They're like, "Okay, no problem." He called me the next day. He's like, "Hey, do you need any more?" I'm like,
"Right."
I literally just took 700 on Monday. It's now Wednesday. I haven't gotten it yet. I'm not sure you've shipped it yet. What do you mean? He's like, "I can get you some more." I'm like, "How much more can you get me?" He's like, "Well, how much more do you want?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, how much more can you get me?"
Right.
And the answer was basically you say a number, I can have that number. Now they're sold out. That
Is it sold out at distribution?
this is not the distributor who usually plays those games.
This is
Okay.
like when my distributor told me 2 weeks ago that I couldn't get any more Tales of Aria first edition, and then I got more last week, and then I got more this week.
I have gotten 300 boxes since release.
That's hilarious. The thing that cracks me up is when a specific individual that we know orders Monarch Unlimited, asks for Monarch first, does not get it, and then instead the distributor accidentally sent them Monarch first in place of their Monarch Unlimited.
There's a lot of that.
That's happened a couple of times. That always cracks me up.
I've had two. Now we're getting into the weeds, but I've had two stores in the last 2 months, one this month and one last month, say that they ordered like a non-case number of Arcane Unlimited, and they got Arcane Rising First Edition, one Arcane Rising First Edition box. Apparently, like on accident, like whoever's packaging the boxes just like took a box and
grabbed
didn't
one
look
off the shelf.
And one of them sold. One of them
hilarious.
sold the product to in their store as an unlimited box because they didn't even think about it. And the person who's opening the box got a cold foil and was like, God. And then he was like, look what I got in this unlimited box.
That's amazing.
That's hilarious. And then
Before
they
we
look
go
at the
further,
box
I want
like,
to say that
oh,
one
it's the
thing that
first
some of my
edition. Go
boxes
ahead.
did not come from distribution. They came from other stores that couldn't sell it, and they sold it to me at cost plus their shipping cost. I should have said that first. I mean, like, listen, this is the problem that Fab has two problems. I think they're related to what Mick said. I agree with the first one. Distribution's still a mess. Like, I think the problem is like the way the boxes are set up. It's tough to support both a collector and player base. And and you can see this clearly in Tales, where like a legendary is still $200, which is a pretty big barrier to entry for a new player, and the boxes are still free.
Right.
Boxes, I was dead on. I think boxes will still hit that $90 to $100 mark.
Instead of spending like $400 on legendaries, just go buy a few cases. Go buy 8 Ks and go get your,
I think the key there, the bigger issue I see is the legendary is $200 and the regular majestics are
$2.
Are $2, $3. And that's where I think George was right. I hate to say it, but you got to put more legendaries.
Yeah,
and they kind of did that. They upped it to 1 in 88 packs.
Like you can't. They need to not dance around it. It's put 2 legendaries in a box. Like I'm getting in the greatest card game ever designed tomorrow. Obviously,
My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia.
Yeah, gotcha. I'm on page now.
Yes, obviously, and they have 2 quartz packs or fancy pants packs per box that are in the box. You get 2 of them per box. And they each one of these packs include 1 full art fancy pants card. Nice. Just do that with the legendaries.
Yeah.
Just throw in 2. Or
just throw in
not
2.
2 per case, but yeah, I hear you.
No.
We're not winning a legendary per box. We want a legendary.
Do it.
2 legendary per
George
case.
wants 2 legendaries a box. I think
I do.
He's serious
I absolutely want 8 legendaries a box.
How does that help collectors?
It doesn't. It helps.
That's a problem though, right?
I think collectors can have sealed product.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what we're looking at right now is this model is not working for literally anybody. Like boxes are dirt cheap, stores are struggling, collectors hey, my stuff is cratering, and players it still costs me $2,000.
Right.
So also
everybody,
it doesn't have to be legendaries. I don't care if you do in your special pack if you do a legendary and an E-Strike or a CNC.
Yeah.
Cards that are way outrageously priced, that's how you bring their price down. You print more of them. This isn't hard.
So I think one of the issues is that the first edition prices are way up here for Arcane and WTR and kind of Crew, and the unlimited prices are way down here. So if you remove unlimited from print and now cap the boxes, somewhere in between there is where unlimited falls. Yep. Right? Somewhere that falls in there. And it's going to be a super interesting dynamic to look to see, does that cause first edition to come down and meet the unlimited? Because now the market is more saturated with things that are quote unquote now investable. Or, does this affect, I don't think it affects cold foils. I think cold foils are kind of there. I don't think it affects the pink pitch cards. I don't think it affects those things. But does it affect the valuation?
I think we've reached the point where I think all 3 of us expected it to be, which is the 3 investable sets in a meaningful way. The 3 sets that are significantly different than the others are
Right.
Wraith, Arcane, and Crew.
Right.
Yeah.
And probably in that order. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah. No, well, one of those
IBT
one.
agrees.
There's a 4th product that wasn't included in that list, which
R.I.P.
is
Like
which is
Jane,
important, which is Monarch First Edition.
Jane killed my dreams. Jane
Dude.
killed the dreams of every other player, and then he killed my dream as his final victory. I like
The final boss.
The final boss, George.
final boss is a fat man in a Hawaiian shirt, and somehow he won. It's amazing.
Start that off. Timestamp.
I think I think LSS is realizing this. So, like, listen, like, somebody asked me, like, I want to invest in Tails. I'm like, just wait.
Yeah.
Like, boxes won't be 150 in a month.
Mm-mm.
Like,
And if they are, it's
and
going to be really
before,
surprising.
like, that's good. That's what we want. Like,
I
we're
think
there.
it's great.
We want slow, long-term growth.
Yeah.
The issue is when you throw unlimited on there in November.
Well,
like,
I
that's
It
think
for
stunts
stores.
that growth substantially.
And that issue is for stores and distribution. That's the important thing to note.
What I
It's
hope
not really
they
for
do,
collectors or players. Yeah.
I hope they say we're gonna cancel. Let me be very clear. I am not sold they should out of print either. I can see the reasoning. I'm not as opposed to it as I once was. It still makes me very uneasy to say that the first 2 sets of this game, which are by far the most popular sets, might I add,
Right.
are out of print. I hope if they do that, they do a remastered product of those 2 and they leave the door open.
Yes, and I think when that OOP announcement comes out, I want to know when Command and Conquer, E-Strike, Arcanite Skullcap, and Tunic are going to be reprinted as soon as that announcement's out. Say
Is Skullcap
WT
to the roof again?
No, but it will
But
be.
they're
Like, this is the
holding. They're
problem.
still
When
185.
when those go out OOP,
170.
it's going to skyrocket and make the barrier entry. Tell me that a rainbow foil skull cap is going to be reprinted in the next
Or
set
non-foil.
that's coming out.
I
next
think
month, you know.
I will be stunned if CNC is not in the next set.
Right, but we need, like, the problem is that the market needs to know that,
I agree.
because otherwise these idiots are going to go out and buy them all up, and you're not going to have players who can
Like,
get the cards accessibly.
Here's the problem: is it won't just be the idiots, right? It's going to be everybody. Like,
Right.
and clearly somebody knows something. Like, that is what makes me unhappy. Is that, like, if you, like, I'm sure I don't watch your market updates because I don't hate my life for Flesh and Blood. I only watch your Metazoo market updates because I want to be able to sleep at night. But if I ever did, I would assume
Actually,
it's matching what I see, which is that, like, somebody's buying out Welcome to Wraith Unlimited legendaries as well.
Yeah. Yep.
And, like, somebody knows something, and, like, LSS needs to
Or
figure
somebody's
out
hard
who's next,
specking.
and they need to, like, be all, hey, you were bad and you're out.
Yeah.
Like, this is not.
I
That's
don't know
not
that I
fair
would
to-
go. I
that's
don't
not
know that I
fair.
would go that far. There's a lot of
it is.
rumors.
We don't need it. We don't need it. Like,
There's a lot of. I did a video 6 months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, comparing a first edition prices to unlimited, and I said E-Strike Rainbow Foil is too cheap at $80, and I bought 5 of them from Mitch.
it's true, actually.
Because I thought, even as a card that can be reprinted, it's
Heck, unlimited. Dirty.
I
dog.
wasn't. I wanted them
He
from
did
my
it way
deck.
back when.
They're all in my decks. They're
All
all in
5.
different decks. All 5 of them. I have multiple decks, George. I actually play this game. Like, they're all
Not what I heard in
true.
other podcasts. Continue.
just a dumb. All right, never mind. Yeah. I just eat McDonald's. All right. Yeah, I wanted unlimited. I wanted rainbow foils. I wanted 3 for my my CC decks and 2 for my Blitz deck. So I said they're too cheap, so I bought them. I didn't have any hidden info that unlimited was going out of.
You're
print.
not buying 45 hearts.
That's true.
You're not buying 40 hearts, boo boo.
So
I'm
like,
just saying that, like, it
let's
doesn't
not
mean
talk
that there's
about
a
the guy
leak from
specking on
LSS.
this.
It doesn't mean that there's a leak from
somebody could be
LSS.
hardcore specking because we're over here saying that you can't buy WTR from distribution. Like, that could be enough for somebody to say, hey, that's enough information for me to go in.
You
and
can't buy
this.
ARC from distribution. I haven't.
This happened.
I haven't been
The
able to
last time. I had
asked-
multiple people ask me, hey, should I be specking WTR Unlimited? We haven't seen it in forever. This was months ago when we're waiting for that new wave of product to come in. And they're like, should I be specking on WTR Unlimited? I'm like, no, don't do that.
I
So,
still think it's not a great
I don't
idea
know-
because, like, when they come out with the print run numbers and it's like 1 billion.
Sure. I mean, but like, this is 10 years 30 years later, Magic the Gathering Unlimited cards, are they, they're still going for a decent chunk of change, right?
This is not a comparable thing.
I agree with you. Everything printed this year, if the game survives for 25 years, will be worth money. I hope you guys are okay with schlucking around your cases of unlimited cards from house to house for the next 2.5 decades.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
I love that argument.
Retirement fund.
Unlimited also sold out like instantly, right? For Magic?
Yes. It was a very different experience.
Yeah, it was like impossible to get even in 1995.
Oh my God, you guys! All I can think about is that Unlimited Hearts can hit $1,000, and I know it in my soul. God, why did we do this podcast?
Let's just talk about market updates. All right, so WTR and ARC, we're saying we're going out of print. Crew still in print.
I think they'll keep Crew in print. I think they should.
If they don't, what was the point of printing it? It's been in print for like 6 weeks.
Sure.
If they out of print anything, I think honestly they should out of print Monarch. Like that's my honest advice. Is like if you're gonna out of print anything, out of print Monarch, you've already banned one.
George is like, I need it to be 1K. Out of print it today.
Like,
do you think this is a hot take?
This is the only
Are there more Monarch First Edition boxes than Monarch Unlimited?
Yes, absolutely.
What?
Absolutely.
You think that?
Actually, probably the unlimited print one was probably a lot larger, but everybody's opening unlimited. Now, this is the interesting thing. I will say I got
way less unlimited for Monarch, and I ordered the same amount.
More. Okay.
I ordered the same amount for first edition and unlimited for Monarch.
It would not surprise me. The market and a lot of cards move, right? Like, so they have two factors. You have more sold listings of unlimited cards, but half as many on the market unlimited compared to cold foils.
All right.
But the cold foils
hits 1K before Monarch first, I'll be even more sad.
But the cold foils stay in people's binders, right? Like a lot of people have cold foils that are in binders, they're not on the market. Sure. If you assume everyone owns one of each, I think like there's an argument that you can make that unlimited Monarch was more like so like you can't put out like that's where I think you can't take Monarch OP because like what are you gonna say?
Here's the issue. There's so many people that got in because of Monarch Unlimited. This is the issue. Like I was posting this week about stuff and people are like, I got in because a Monarch Unlimited was cheap. Like super inexpensive. It was easy for me to get in the game. The barrier of entry was so low for me. It was a non-issue. Yeah. I would not be playing today if there were not Monarch Unlimited or Unlimited product. So this is a really fascinating thing.
Yeah. And that's
I think and this is like the hit too, though, to stores is because, well, I'm giving it away for free to build my player base so I can get more first edition. I'm being sarcastic, but we understand that there are a lot of people that we've heard or stores that we've heard who are selling unlimited near cost or at map as low as they can. So that way they can try and order more, break even, eventually increase their spend for Flesh and Blood, get more first edition. The thing that's kind of countering that now, though, is we're seeing tails go down to $100 a box. Well, that's not as advantageous, right? You're going from getting 2 to 3x MSRP to now I'm only getting like MSRP, and this is no longer a sustainable model for me for Flesh and Blood. So I think that there is, we've talked about this endlessly. We don't need to talk about how they fix Unlimited or how they fix that.
Go watch our other 15 podcasts for all
20 podcasts. Sure.
Talk about that.
Yeah. So it is interesting though, to finally see this week, the market's actually like, oh, Tails Unlimited is coming this next month. Like, what are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
Like my cards are going to be worth nothing. And
that's what you're saying is exactly the problem, right? Is like, if you're opening Monarch or Tails, there's one card per box that's worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's it. There's one card.
Sure. Not even necessarily.
Not even that. One
like,
case, 2 per case, maybe.
If you don't hit a legendary in Monarch, you don't make your box price back.
Right. And like
that's absolutely true.
And like, I think like what they need to figure out, I don't know how to do this. I'll be honest. I think this might be a unsolvable problem that hopefully people smarter than me, which is not hard to find, will figure out. Is like what Magic and Metazoo do well. They have several cards worth $20 to $30 in the box. No card is worth a bajillion dollars, but a bunch of cards are worth $40, $30, $20,
Right.
$50.
Yeah.
Right.
And like the problem right now is like if you don't hit the cold foil,
you
enjoy your
lost
L.
money.
like you
Right.
like the money's gone.
Or in
Right.
tails, if you don't hit a cold foil majestic or higher, even a cold foil majestic, even if you hit a $85 cold foil majestic, which is 1 in 6 boxes, is what I think. Even if you hit a cold foil majestic, you are breaking even on $110 box.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like they need to
With
find
your
a way to put cards, and I think this is where they can use alt arts, right? Make alt arts more prevalent. They don't,
they created one.
Yeah, like print
I've opened
10.
2 of them in 100 boxes.
I think you see the other 2 in unlimited.
What do you mean?
I think you see the other 2 alternative.
I think
they've never printed alt arts.
I think you're right, Louis. I think you're right, Louis. I'll leave it at that.
I think that's what they're, because I think they saw an issue with Monarch. I think, and that's an easy way to solve it.
Oh, so they're trying to add value to the product.
They add value to
alt arts.
You add value to Monarch or to unlimited.
It's going to be amazing because people are going to crack boxes of unlimited now.
Yeah,
like my face of disgust.
It's going to cause. It's going to cause the same.
You can tell who sells boxes and who sells singles right now pretty easily.
Boxes and singles.
You can see those wick in this podcast pretty easily.
I'm just like, why am I doing this to myself?
So
that's been like my discussion. I just
I could probably get Tales Unlimited for my website. Actually,
yeah,
you probably could. I'll give you mine.
I think that they need to. I think that they whatever they do, they need to make a reprint. They need to make the market know that a reprint for unlimited key cards is coming soon, so that the market doesn't get stupid with.
All right, beautiful. You ready for the real question I care about?
Yeah.
Is Heart one of those cards that should be reprinted?
Oh, because it's a Fable in that specific set.
Should a Fable be reprinted? Is what you're saying?
Listen. The Heart's starting to pop up in deck lists. Like that's
because they're affordable.
The Heart and Guardian is pretty dang good. You know what I mean? Like
if you don't play with a cold foil Heart, you should not be allowed into nationals. Who's with me? Anybody?
No.
Nobody? All right, that's fine. No, that's fine. I'll carry this market on my own dang back, just like this podcast. Continue.
Hey, George, why don't you just be the capitalist that you are and donate hearts to everybody who doesn't have one? Because we know that you have enough.
What capitalist means. I'll be honest with you. I think you used that word in a very unique way.
Yes, that was very intentional. Thank you.
I don't think that there's a way around it. They in order to do that, they need to do a WTR remastered. I think it's really weird.
What does that even look like for?
I'll tell you what I think it looks like is you get rid of the super rare, and you.
They all go to Majestics.
They all go to Majestic, and you up the rate of all the cards to the same pull rate of the rest of them. So you get 6 Majestics a box, and you up it. You up all the super rares into Majestics. So then you don't have.
How does that help?
You want to know what makes me really sad?
Monarch.
Here's what makes me really sad. I hate saying this next sentence. I apologize to everybody in advance. This is the benefit of what you could do with something similar to Magic the Gathering Collector Booster.
Yeah.
Crater the number of packs, make the pack smaller, pack them full of the cards people want.
Right.
I want I don't all this time Magic's had it right, and we've been
I hate everything.
I've been bashing Magic, and the whole time Magic has been doing good things, and now we have Secret Lair Rudy edition coming out for Flesh and Blood.
It actually is. I've not thought about it in that context.
This is like
it is 100% a Rudy Secret Lair.
This is one depressing for us. I'd much rather depress you viewers than me. I'll be honest.
We've got next year's Flesh and Blood lineup: collector boosters, set boosters, draft boosters that you can never get in stock, and Rudy Secret Layers.
This is the problem. This is the problem with Unlimited. Is like, Louis, you'll know this. How many cards on Unlimited, Welcome to Wraith, let's say, are worth more than $3?
Most of the non-foils are most of the non-foils below that for Majestic. I would say
East Tome, all the legendaries, Fable.
He's asking non-foil. The
Yeah.
$3
Tome
seems
is
low.
wait,
It
non-foil
depends.
tome is like $8 right now.
No, non-foil tomes like probably 15, 20, something
It's
like
up there, yeah.
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 There's cards. The problem, George, is you get 1 or 2 per box majestic.
Right,
And when
right
you're
now,
1 or
that's-
2, when you're 1 or 2 is a $3 card, that brings your like it's just not good. So that's why you switch. I think you got to take some of the super rares and turn them into rares, and then remaster it.
And the problem is like there is so like Louis, I'll bet you I have 250,000 cards of bulk in my store for
Yeah.
Wraith and Arcane. I mean,
I
like,
can match that. It's in my garage as well.
yeah, I mean, like,
I
this is
can't
the
get it.
problem. Is like
I
we
could give it
don't.
away.
Yeah,
but-
like the last thing my store needs is more Welcome to Wraith Unlimited or Arcane Rising Unlimited bulk.
Yeah.
I have Welcome to Wraith. I could not say this. People don't flood my store. I might have first edition bulk in my boxes.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure there's
sure I
still
do.
foil
Like, I mean, like-
comments in your bulk boxes.
I mean, like, I don't want keep them. I don't care about them. I mean, like, if it's not a heart, why does it get printed? You know, I
Cold
I
foil
love
heart.
pumping George. I love George the Pumper.
pump
Got
My
to
Hero
pump it
Academia.
up.
So like you know, they need to figure out a way how to handle the bulk situation because like there is just like we all have enough.
It's waste.
Every store that cares about flesh and blood has a bulk box that's flowing to the brim with Welcome to Wraith and Arcane Unlimited.
Yeah, I get it.
So we just do packs of Majestics, get rid of supers.
You know what they could do?
Majestic, legendary.
Oh,
Fable
wait a
pack.
minute. I've got it.
I'm
I've got it.
gonna derail your entire conversation.
Want me
Not yet.
to give you the right idea first before you blow it or no?
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
down.
Put a Welcome to Wraith or Arcane Unlimited booster pack in every box of Tails. And
Well, we're
in
already
that
there.
Welcome to Wraith Unlimited or Arcane Rising Special Edition Remastered pack, you get 1 card or 2 cards or 3 cards that you actually care about from the first 2 sets.
That's cool. Tales Unlimited is already printed and probably in distribution warehouses.
It'd have
but
to be for Kingdoms, George.
You have to
I've
be
heard
for
that.
Kingdoms. We'll talk about that in the next set when we talk.
Oh,
about
did I say
Kingdoms.
Tails? I'm sorry. Whenever I
Yeah.
say Tails, I assume I meant Kingdoms because to me it's
Yeah.
the same thing. They're interchangeable.
One of the
Same thing.
issues I think is that there are a lot of people who want to continue to draft and play sealed for WTR and
Yes.
ARC.
This is like, and I'll be honest, that's like this will hurt my store. I want to be very clear
Because
here.
that set is so good to draft. Both those.
There's
sets
a
are great
reason
for
you can
drafting.
buy 700 boxes because you do a ton of draft and sealed.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, I know I've heard from
I don't
other
do any
people.
sealed. I do no sealed. I only do draft. Continue that.
I've heard from other people in other stores that like people really, really love the WTR and ARC draft experience, and
Yep.
like
Yeah.
it's not
the best.
always that. It's not always that. Like Monarch wasn't like that. So
No,
Right.
no, it was not like that.
I don't know. Anyway, I think it's. I mean, there's too many rumors going around. Too many people buying things on the market for me to not think that an OOP announcement's coming. I hope we get another restock before that. If we don't get a restock of Arcane before that,
No chance.
no,
No.
you don't think we
I'll
see
be
a
stunned.
really?
I'll be stunned.
Wow.
Like, what's the point of it? What's the point of being like, hey, I just printed 20 bajillion new boxes, but by the way, it's gonna be out of print, but it's gonna be in stock the next 20 years. Okay, thank you.
That's perfect. Then people can get the boxes without, and they don't have
There's
to
plenty
react.
of
No,
time.
because
You just want the market to go up.
I
You
almost
just
said a
want the
bad
free
word.
tendies.
I almost said a bad word. The four jerks are going to buy out the entire print run, and it's going to be gone into those people's hands anyway. So, like, it doesn't solve your problem. Like, if you're going to say it's out of print, say
Then
it's out of
give
print.
it to the LGSs. Then
Oh,
tell
okay.
the
I don't know
distribution
why they have-
networks that they have to give them and spread them out to the LGSs a 6-box limit
Yeah.
per account.
A 6-box limit. What
There's
am I
That's
doing?
a
Wrap
case and a
around?
half.
There's
At least do
2,000
eight-
stores.
8 boxes.
How big do you think the print run is?
I'm going to do it. All right, you two get to draft today. You three take a hike. Louis says no to you.
This was Louis' idea. Okay, he did
Yeah,
this to
here's
you.
his personal cell phone number. Tell him George says hi.
I found it on MetaZooGames.com.
Like, get out of here. 6 boxes?
Whatever. I'm
Bro.
saying limit 6
All right.
cases. Whatever.
Like, what does that do? Like 24 boxes?
Whatever. I just want it spread out to all the people, but I
He
know
just wants to get boxes, George.
I
He never
just-
gets boxes.
Yeah, I don't. I like.
Have you thought about being
I'm not
better?
gonna. Being a news store sucks. There's nothing I can do to get the product that I need for my people. It's annoying. And then they magically have more boxes for the next 3 weeks. Like, it's so infuriating. Being a new store is horrible. Starting a store is easily my least favorite thing. Everyone's like, Louis, why are you so negative? My answer is that I started a TCG store. I should have just made this just a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Tell everybody what I texted you yesterday when you sent me a picture of you and Little Monarch.
I don't remember. Can I tell you a
little
hilarious...
babies learning the harsh realities of the world after you had your talk with your distributor?
Oh, yeah. So, okay, now that we've
actually
derailed, I just got a text from my wife. This is great. This is going to be live on our podcast, your guys' reaction. She said, pretty sure your handwriting on Kennedy's birth certificate was so bad that they think her name is spelled with an L. So instead of
an L in Monarch?
Instead of Kennedy, it's KENNLDY on her birth certificate.
All right, I'll say it. That's on the doctor. That's on the doctor. Kennedy is not a great name, but I will forever call her that now. I want to make sure you do know that.
No, I thought it was Little Monarch.
It is Little Monarch.
Yeah.
Little Monarch and Little Kingdoms.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the Rudy promo real quick. Secret Lair,
about it.
Flesh and Blood, Secret Lair, Rudy edition.
This is a collaboration with LSS, and I've seen him mention in his post with James. LSS/James.
Burning the cards was quote unquote James's idea.
And anytime you post with positivity, like, oh, I can't wait to get to this, or how many of these can I buy? What is Rudy's typical response?
Stop being so positive. I want to burn cards.
Or
but most importantly, Rudy, welcome, man. We're glad you watched the podcast. There's a spot for you down there.
I don't know if we can handle Rudy on the podcast.
I don't think Rudy would ever want to be on this podcast.
No.
I love.
Is that your Zen state, George? Do you just need some Zen right now in your life?
My Zen.
Listen, I gotta say this. I love how non-flesh and blood the sale is. Like, I love how
totally just feeding the negativity.
This is 100% the opposite of anything I ever thought Flesh and Blood would have done. Like it's completely like somebody else said it that it feels like something Mike would do. And I loved it.
That is absolutely something Mike would do.
I loved it. I said, yes.
This is a great thing, though.
It's great
This is
marketing.
a great
It's a
thing.
great, like, literally most viewed video on my channel this week by far. Like, the marketing.
We haven't released our podcast yet. Continue.
The marketing aspect of this is nuts, and it's great.
Well, and he's definitely feeding in. And I would say this is when I first started the single store, this is first year I started, I reached out to Rudy and asked for any tips. And he said this year is going to be just fed with negativity. So many people are going to be salty about stuff as the market continues to grow and the game continues to grow. And it's
that market's grown all right.
It actually has. You can't say the game's not larger than what it was.
The game's
Crew
grown.
came out.
The game's grown. The market has not grown. The market cap has gone one direction.
Well, that's fair. Yeah. Sorry, I'm talking about the cap. Sorry, I know market cap's gone down, but players are going up. Anyways,
long term, George. Long term.
We're thinking long term here.
Zen. And get your Zen state token on.
Get your
George.
Zen state.
George doesn't know what that is. George doesn't know what a Zen state token is.
With Tales Unlimited on the horizon, it's been interesting to see the negativity and Tales box prices declining. People just commenting on negativity this week and last week. It's been fascinating.
The war between the player and collector can never be worse than it is right now. And it's so ugly because it's like the players don't understand the value of a collector or an investor in a TCG world. And I feel like the collectors should be ecstatic at the number of players. And I think they're probably there. I just hate that I don't feel like as a collector, you can even make a post on Facebook without somebody saying, just play the game. Just play the game. That's the only way you can enjoy this is by playing the game. Like,
it's a great game.
I agree. It's a great game, but you can also the point of LSS originally was that it's a great game that can also be collected. And there's a lot of collectors in our community that I think need a voice that shouldn't just be stifled by just play the game. Like, there's a lot more to it than that, and it's annoying. This promo is bringing that out because this is non-playable.
Oh, for sure. He's made it very clear it's non-playable.
Yeah.
It's a high price point. pricing
Yeah,
out
it's a
players.
ridiculous price point.
It's not a ridiculous price point. The
Why not, George?
there's only like
How much?
there's only like 1,000 of them or 1,500 of them.
1,500.
Okay, so then go buy all the cold foil commons for $1,500, please.
Print run is not the only.
What are
basis
some other
for
things that
value.
matter then?
How much people desire it. Like notice
Snapdragon
that
scalers.
there more or less 9.5 hearts than there are test sheets of the Mask of Momentum.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I know. So at the there are
What did the
things
test
that
sheets
matter
sell
more
for?
than just raw numbers.
What did the test
It
sheet
sold
sell
for
for?
25, 30K.
Yeah, it sold for about the price of a 9.5 heart.
Interesting.
So listen, let me. I have very mixed
And that was going
emotions
to
about this,
charity, too.
about the Secret Lair Rudy edition. First, let me say it does not bother me a great deal. I don't I'd be way more PO'd if it was appearing on Channel Fireball, frankly.
Sure.
Maybe I shouldn't be, but that's just my honest take. Is that Rudy's done a lot for the game.
Yep.
I got no
He
beef
has
with
excitement and he has a lot of
So
the
this
word?
is-
Buzz.
I hope
around
this is
game.
the start.
Rudy.
I hope this is the start.
Well, it was the start originally.
No, I hope this is the start.
Rudy, go ahead, Boo.
I hope that this is the start of a series of things that they do to highlight the people who have supported Flesh and Blood. I hope that Rudy gets this one and that in
Louis wants to be highlighted.
No, I
You
don't. I'm
want
not going to
something
say me at
special?
all. I hope that Rudy gets this one. I hope that Rudy Reaper Games gets the next one. Stores that were helping out. I hope Team Covenant
so
already
good.
gets promos. Oh wait, who? Maybe Compete Sport or something like that. Maybe they can get a rainbow foil one that's
I will spoil
some
this for
common.
you. I will spoil this for you. That is not what was going to happen.
That's fine. I have to choose to assume the best in LSS, and I am choosing that they do something and move forward, and that this is not just a ploy for one person, but that this is a way that they are going to support the players and stores that
Well, they're
that
not
they believe in the
supporting players
LGS.
with this. They're not supporting players by pursuing.
I just said
the Rudy
LGS.
promo.
I just said LGS.
I understand, but they've been trying to support the LGS with unique promos for game stores. I shouldn't say LGS, for GSs. Team Covenant's my LGS, and they've supported them with promos.
Right, and I hope that this
Star
is a
City
great
Games.
opportunity. If you
Star
hate,
City Games
listen,
is a large game store. Channel Fireball is a large game store, and they've supported them with paraphernalia.
you know what a better way to do Secret Lair is? Give them to the
LGS
game
Lair.
stores. Give them to game
Dungeon
stores
Lair.
and give the revenue to game stores. That's a better way to do Secret Lair. This is a
Listen,
way to do something like that, and this is an
It's not
opportunity.
very capitalist of them.
And I'm gonna.
No, I mean, listen, I think they. I don't want to make Louis edit too much. Let me think about this for a second here.
we are
just
trying to
say
be
it.
positive.
I have no comment.
Okay,
That's the first time he's ever just bit his lip and said, "Okay, I'm going to keep my mouth to myself." So,
this is going out on Friday. I think the promo. This is currently what day is it? Wednesday. I think the promo goes for sale on what Friday? Is that when it goes
Friday.
for sale?
It goes Friday night. It's his Friday night special.
Gosh, the only time I don't buy it is if it's Rudy. I just don't think Rudy on a
You
card.
won't
is
buy it
worth
if Rudy's face is on it?
I love Rudy. I would happily buy a bundle from Rudy that came with a Rudy face card for my collection, but I'm not spending $1,000 on a card of Rudy's face.
But
That's
you're
when I
spending
don't buy it.
$1,000 on really 5-6 cards, and one of those cards is the next Fable for the next set.
Wait, they have not said that, have they?
They have.
Yeah.
The next there's one card that's not been revealed that is it's the image of the Fable gem for the next set.
All right,
We
now
don't know
I'm opposed
actually
to
if it's
it. I did not know that. I will no longer
It's a
bite my
leak.
tongue. No, I will. We're doing positive.
No, go ahead. Now
Nope.
you know.
No, you don't have to. This is not like a non-negative podcast.
Mondo 1K.
Okay, that's
George,
more
tell
negative.
us.
Why is that an issue that he gets to leak what
Why
the
is
next
it an
Fable
issue
is?
that once again they will do all they can to drive eyeballs to the same 4 people that are not happen to be local game stores?
So you're upset that it's not a game store or somebody from that's a content creator, but he's a content creator.
I had no problem. I still have no problem at all with Rudy getting his promo. I hope it is his beautiful smiling face holding a taco, mocking Louis for not
It is
buying.
a merchant. It is a merchant.
Me and
just saying.
Rudy have the same love, and that love is Taco Bell and Metazoo. But like we love those two things. We love Taco Bell and we love Metazoo. But like the fact that they're spoiling the next Fable to get a promo card out.
They've never spoiled a Fable before.
They've never spoiled a Fable before.
That's not entirely true. Rudy, when he opened up the first box of Crew on his channel, had Shiana and the Fable in it. Just saying.
But that wasn't a spoil. He just happened to get lucky with the packs.
Yeah.
Lucky. Yeah.
Okay.
Just happened to have
I have no
legendary
feeling.
Fable
I have
in
no
it.
feeling. I have no feeling for this. Like they're spoiling the first ever Fable.
It's technically
not
the second
with
time, but it's
a
fine.
store.
Mhm.
They're spoiling it to help promote the sales of a promo that's going to be $1,000.
Yep.
I will
Start
say,
there.
like, I was. You guys saw this. You guys saw the reaction live. I was absolutely fine with this when it was go give Rudy $2,000 for a promo and 4 art cards and 5 art cards. No problem. I love it. I think that was fine with LSS. If anybody deserves it, it's probably Rudy, frankly. I don't know if they need to spoil the first ever Fable to help the sales, though. That does not spark joy. I'm sorry, Rudy. I love you. If next time in Orlando, let's grab Taco Bell and play Metazoo together, and we can do that, and it'll be a great time. But like, man, like that just doesn't. That does not feel good. I'll be perfectly
It comes in a custom LSS box.
That will
by the
feel
way.
a lot better as a LGS if in 6 months or in 3 months they do a second one that is not Rudy and it's an LGS that can handle that.
They've never done that.
Great.
Look at
Then
it.
this
all
is
retailer
smart.
They have
appreciation
given
kit.
promos to the same people. Like
Right. I agree, George. I
Mondo
agree.
1K.
I agree. This is an opportunity for them to
Is
change
Mondo
that
1K the
direction.
positive thing? That feels
That
like
is
a
the
negative
mantra.
comment.
That
This
is my Zen mantra.
This is an opportunity for them to change their direction. And if they take that opportunity to change their direction and do a LGS support, here's a promo. If you want that promo, there's 1,000 of them. This is what it costs. We're fully support for this LGS to go do it. They have supported the game since the beginning. Here you go. Go to their website and they promote it and they handle it. Then that's a huge win. There's
Huge
an
win.
opportunity
Huge
here.
win.
There's an opportunity here for a huge win.
If I sprout wings, I'll also be a butterfly. I'd be a monarch butterfly, by the way. But like, listen,
Listen, I don't agree with it either, but I'm telling you that there's an opportunity here to make this a win and for LSS to get back to the roots of what they said they were for.
I will also say this. We're talking about this now, and we endlessly talk about flesh and blood, whether on a positive or some would say negative note.
Never negative with me.
Okay, Linda. But we
Who's
are
Linda?
constantly, well, y'all keep saying listen. So I keep thinking of listen, Linda. It's a YouTube reference. It's fine if you don't get it.
I don't watch
But-
YouTube.
Okay,
Me neither.
Linda.
Only-
All right.
Only
That's
Louis
fine,
Metazoo
guys.
updates.
That's true. All I'm saying is this is creating buzz around stuff that they're doing. It is buzz that is not related to the market crashing. It is buzz related to a $1,000 kit. You know, is it the buzz they want? I don't know, but they're leaning more into the negativity than pushing away from it, which I think is really interesting. They're not saying, let's pause on this. Let's find a better time for the market to accept this promo. They're just doing it. They're like, it's our 2-year anniversary. We decided that Rudy was going to be the guy because of X reason of his audience per se. And that's what we're going to do. And I imagine that this has been planned for years. This is not just something they just decided to do. This was maybe an idea they came up with and they're following through with it. And I think it's creating a ton of hype with the community, whether they like it or not.
This is a great opportunity. We'll see where they go with it. That's where I am. This is a great opportunity. They don't listen to our podcast. Rudy listens to our podcast. Rudy, you can tell them when you talk to LSS about your secret things that this is a great opportunity to support LGSs and to highlight LGSs in the future. And it's a great thing to start with Rudy because he's the big, he's the big wig. This is a great opportunity. That's where I'm leaving it. I'm choosing to believe that this is one of a few secret layer Flesh and Blood edition that is going to highlight LGSs and utilize them. And that's what I'm choosing to believe.
Can one of you drive me to the hospital when we're done, by the way? My tongue has a hole in it.
Okay, let's talk about the next set. Now that we know that the Fable's being spoiled on Friday, George, what would you like to see out of a new set?
Pass. Next.
We do know the next one's going to be a gym, which we haven't seen in the last 2 sets.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
I like that a lot. I think this next set is their opportunity to make the changes that they need to make for unlimited, for box things, for all that stuff.
Man, he's biting his lips so hard right now.
And if this is where they can make the changes with first edition and do things like, you know, what some ideas we've thrown out. This is make or break it is the next set.
Would you say that there's anything else contingent on make or break other than the success of the next set? Is there anything else? And I know I'm setting George up here. George, this is an alley-oop here for you. What are other things that can hinder their ability to be successful?
This is LSS's time to say what they believe in. If they believe that Channel Fireball and Rudy and that is the way that they're going to grow the game, then this is their opportunity. This is where they move towards.
They'll make their intentions very clear. Yep. Or they should just go full on Amazon and just make it more accessible to everybody.
I will, if they want to do that, I will happily close my store and just be a content creator. Like
I'm sure they'd be. I think they'd be happy.
I'd rather LSS make money than Channel Fireball.
I hear you.
That's where I am. I think that this next set is where they have to make changes. They've had enough time since Monarch to make changes for the next set, in terms of like what's in a first edition box. Does first edition exist? Does unlimited exist? This is their opportunity that they have to change that. This is make or break it, in my opinion, on whether or not first edition or unlimited needs to be a thing. So that's my opinion. Talent system, like this is.
I don't see them getting rid of the talent system at all. That's how they create a non-rotating card pool.
Right, but this is going to be interesting to see how wide are we going to go. Are we really going 40 classes?
To the existing
are we really going? I mean, if you consider Elemental Guardian a different class than Guardian, are we really going 40 classes wide? Is the game really wide and like
infinite,
able to support that with box sales and all that thing?
Well,
like, what?
Man,
George, come on,
really
buddy. Give the people what they want.
What's
just
going
talk.
on? You're not here to keep your mouth shut.
Enter the comment section. Look, Louis and Mitch finally reined George in.
Yeah, that was actually that was one comment out of all last week. You got to rein George in. George is trying to be positive with his words today because there's been enough negativity in the community. And just like your mom told you, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. Don't say it at all, right?
All right.
Here's all I will say. When somebody shows you who they are versus telling you who they are, you should believe them.
I agree. And listen to me when I say, if this is a one-off thing that doesn't result...
I am not, let me be very clear here. I am not in any sense talking about the Rudy promo. The Rudy promo could not make me any less frustrated. I don't love that they gave him the Fable, but like in the list of things that frustrate me, that is a rounding error. When somebody shows you who they are, you should believe them.
Yep.
Does that transition us into the Metazoo minute?
We have an opportunity, I think, to see this next set and to see what happens with the way that they handle their relationships. We don't know what the contracts look like, when the contracts are up, and all those things. Like, we have an opportunity. They have
Stop signing new ones. Stop signing new ones. I get you don't know when contracts are up. You do get to control when you sign new ones. That's something you get to control.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can cancel contracts too.
Yeah, sometimes you can.
Sometimes
you
there are
can
terms.
say, I'm not happy with what they're doing. You can say those things publicly sometimes. In fact, another card game has. Again, if somebody shows you who they are, you should believe them.
Again, does this transition us into the Metazoo minute?
Listen, I believe that the original goal of LSS is to support local game stores and not the big boxes. I believe that. And they have an opportunity here to do something that is different. They have an opportunity here to change that with this next set that's coming out. That's right.
I have asked for help with allocations since Arcane First Edition.
I just deleted an email. I actually wrote an email and then I just deleted it because I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere.
I have asked for
that's your
help
point.
with distribution since Arcane Rising First Edition. My first interaction with LSS ever was being, I'm sorry, Rudy, I still love you, even though it sounds like I don't love you this episode, I still do. My first ever email was that they only gave me enough pre-release kits for Arcane First Edition. First, long before everybody, all you clowns, ever heard of the game. I think I got enough pre-release kits, I think for 16 players, and I had 62 players show up. This is before Gem. And I had to tell people you don't get to get a pre-release kit. While Rudy put the pre-release kit in his Arcane Rising bundle, more or less.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you guys, I'm mad at myself. Like, that is why I have to bite my tongue today. Because they showed me. LGSs have been asking for exclusive playmats. They have been asking for promos. They have been asking for these things. They go to Rudy, who again, in the scheme of things, does not bother me. Rudy has done a lot for the game. They go to Team Covenant. They go to Star City Games. They go to Channel Fireball. You want to know who will get the next secret layer? It'll be one of those three. I will all but guarantee it. I know, Louis. You believe what you're hoping that they're telling the truth and they're not, and that their actions betray them.
Yep.
I am saying when somebody shows you who they are, you have an obligation to believe them.
Okay, let's move on. Metazoo Minute.
I got the hot take on this one. I got the scoop.
I actually think this is a perfect transition though, because we've seen particular actions from a particular retailer.
So we all know Mike announced that Channel Fireball would be selling Nightfall at MSRP.
Yes.
And that happened for the first couple weeks.
Well, it happened for one day and then they sold out within. Yeah, they did all their drops and sold out instantly.
And then a new. Go ahead.
George. Go ahead, George.
So they announced. So they today released more boxes at retail, right?
Well, clarification.
No, I'm sorry. They released it at $300.
But who is they?
Who's they? Because it's not explicitly Channel Fireball. It's not explicitly.
Card Shop Live is Channel Fireball, everyone. They're the same. They have the same address and same contact info and same return address. Card Shop Live is Channel Fireball.
Who also have a newly named eBay as well, called Card Shop Live, correct?
So slimy.
So they have, don't worry, they have their own social media accounts with 0 posts.
Oh, fascinating.
I almost said something bad. So I asked Mike about this, and he says that he wishes they would have, he asked them to keep boxes at MSRP, and he wishes they would have for longer. Which is I must say, a very good statement by Mike. Here's been the hubbub though, is that I don't think they have as long of a contract as LSS does with Channel Fireball. And I think that mainly because I think Channel Fireball, they're interchangeable in my head, actually use them to use Metazoo as a guinea pig for how they want to handle all the Kickstarter games that they're trying to recruit on.
Well, they're using it as an example to say, hey, look what we did with this. I suspect it's a short-term contract, and frankly, they did not make Mike look particularly good in this. And I suspect Mike will remember that. And more importantly, I'll say there's two big groups that should pay attention to this. The first is Metazoo and LSS. They're I think Mike knows this. I think frankly more than LSS knows this. They're causing meaningful harm to the game. They are causing meaningful harm to the game, in my opinion.
It's so nuanced.
I don't think it's that nuanced.
It's more. I would say it's more harmful.
I agree with you. First off, but it is so nuanced especially for Flesh and Blood, because of the competitive scene things and the name that Channel Fireball brings to the competitive scene. And I have to say, like, they did what they I don't know much about competitive scene. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like they do the Magic Grand Prix and all that stuff. Like, that's a pretty big thing, right?
Canceled, right?
No, they're doing another one.
Oh, that's true. They're doing another one.
They're doing one in Vegas.
Like, I think like there's a nuance there. I personally see it as a loss to the LGSs, and I think eventually the competitive scene needs to be but LSS seems to be focusing 100% on competitive play, and that seems to be where they're going. They're putting all their eggs in the competitive play basket. So like that to me makes that. I don't understand why a game like Metazoo with all the hype needs Channel Fireball. I don't get that. I don't understand.
I have some thoughts.
I don't understand. Like, they just did why can't they just do everything on their own site and their own marketing? It's 2021.
Because
YouTube is a much better platform for marketing than going with another store that does the same thing. I don't understand why you have to share the pie.
I think Channel Fireball is actually partly distribution as well as a fulfillment center for them, and that's what they're utilizing right now. Is Channel Fireball is able to get out more boxes and able to do stuff at scale because they have an infrastructure. I would argue that Metazoo is still building that scale and don't have the capability to ship as many boxes, both to LGSs, which Channel Fireball is fulfilling orders to LGSs as part of distribution, and they're selling boxes themselves. I think it just increases
this is the problem.
Mixing distribution and retail is a terrible disaster, in my opinion.
They have two. Amen, brother. Say it one more time, Louis, for the people in the back. Say it one more time.
Mixing distribution and retail is a terrible. Like,
I think
it creates unfair markets. Like, I mean,
well, for sure, I get it.
If Channel Fireball is handling the distribution and then can say, "Oh, we're only going to distribute this amount of boxes, and then we're going to sell them ourselves because retail makes more money,"
I would hope that there's more. Mike has more control over that, and that he gets to help dictate. I'm sure
he does. I'm sure he does.
But
I mean, Mike has. My PhD
Mike has his hands in a lot of stuff.
My PhD rep told me that Mike has a outside source that's doing all the allocations for PhD. That's awesome. That's incredible. That is, Mike's gonna know where every single box of Nightfall goes from PhD, and meanwhile you have. Never mind. Go back and watch the beginning of our podcast and see what first edition's happening with the rest of the.
Well, I think the damage that Channel Fireball is doing is actually on the LGS market. And you could argue that that's happening right now with potentially Metazoo if they're getting their boxes directly from Channel Fireball. If you guys are getting your boxes from Channel Fireball, I guarantee you're wanting to get boxes from the other two distributors, right? You're not depending solely on Channel Fireball to distribute your boxes. You're using them as a resource, and you're investing in their. I think the caveat is you have to invest in their marketplace in order to get the benefit, which is a whole nother thing. We don't need to go on the Channel Fireball thing. I think there's more damage being done right now to Flesh and Blood in the market, and Metazoo I don't think is being as negatively impacted. Right. And I think the impact will be a lot more short term for Metazoo. It would be my hope.
Very worried. I said this last podcast.
Right.
I am sincerely worried about. I own fleshandblood.com. I have a 7-figure Flesh and Blood collection. I am sincerely worried about the damage that I think Channel Fireball has done over the last few months to Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, it's crazy how quickly it's gone.
Here's what I mean by that. I think they are, at least in large part, at least in some part, I guess I should say, responsible for the fiasco of Monarch pricing.
For sure.
Yeah.
And the absolute bloodbath after that affected the way players interact with the game, certainly the collector scene. Correct. And you combine that with the fact that, like, they found a way, Mike's not the only one unhappy today with Channel Fireball. James White should also be calling one Mr. Fireball and be saying, hey, wait a minute, because they've honored LSS's sincere request and policy of not selling below map on auctions. But now you can buy a case of Monarch at auction and get a free case of Welcome to Wraith Unlimited at auction.
Right.
they have obeyed the law. They've obeyed the letter of the law.
Let's just
but not
restate
the spirit.
that Card Shop Live is Channel Fireball for the people overseas who might not know that.
So like
you can buy there's a
here's
2-for-1 special case.
Here's the I think this is
somebody told me.
Hold on one second. This is what scares me about what's happening with Channel Fireball. On the one hand, again, like they're viewed as an extension of LSS fairly or not fairly. I think it's fair. I'll be honest. But like fairly or unfairly, they're seen as an extension of LSS, in my opinion. And they have told you that a box of Unlimited is worth $45.
Yeah.
Well, at the same time, being completely okay with causing first edition to go to the moon before it craters on players' hands.
Yep.
Now, let me say this. If you ordered boxes at $500 a Monarch, some of that's on you.
Right.
Right? Like, I had my bundles. I've had my boxes of Monarch at $150. If you ordered my bundle, you never lost money. Even the deepest crash, now Rudy's saving you. Like, at the end of the day, like, you never lost money if you ordered from me. In my store, if you went to my store, if you're a customer of mine, you got it for $100 in store. Boxes were $600 on Channel Fireball on release day. They were $100 at Compete Sport in store. So, like, again, like when somebody acts, you should believe them. I think that Channel Fireball has caused significant damage to the Flesh and Blood marketplace, and I think Mike sees that and is trying very hard to avoid that, which is why he's been way more outspoken than LSS has been about this. I give Mike incredible credit for being the first to tackle this issue.
Sure.
Immensely. It doesn't sound like this is going the direction he wants, but that's a short-term loss, and I'm hoping it's a long-term victory.
So I agree with a lot of what you just said. I think that the caveat is if you look at the 1,000 players at the Las Vegas event, and if you look at the calling and the amount of content that they're putting out, if you look at
if you put out more videos than all of their content creators combined for Flesh and Blood?
I don't matter, George. I don't like. I get more.
You matter to me, Louie.
I'm sure I get more Flesh and Blood views.
You matter to me, Louie.
I'm sure I get more Flesh and Blood views than the other content creators because I do more videos. Like, I don't think that matters to LSS.
I don't either.
What matters? Hold on, let me finish my statement. What matters to LSS is the competitive play. And what they are doing with the current market and the current thing is they are sacrificing the current market, the market before Monarch. They are sacrificing that market for competitive play. That's the relationship that they are getting with Channel Fireball, in my opinion. And there are wins and there are losses to that. You and I feel a lot of the losses to that. I think that the casual player feels a lot of the losses to that. I think that LGSs feel a lot of the losses to that as they're not able to sell unlimited product at whatever. Like, but what they gain from that, what LSS is gaining, is a competitive play. And in my opinion, LSS is going all in on competitive play. That is their
mistake. But let me leave that aside. But let me ask you this question, Louie. If it was the calling sponsored by LSS, Compete Sport, America's greatest LGS, and I don't know, and Midtown Merchant and Kitchen Table, do you think less people show up? Like, do you think they're there to see Channel Fireball? Because I don't. I don't think they're there to see Channel Fireball.
Listen,
I think there's a credibility though.
Here. There's such a nuance, George. There's a credibility and a security, and there's a ton of listen. I think that if you gave me a budget, I think I could pull off a very similar live stream that they were able to pull off. But I don't have the credibility that Channel Fireball has in the market space, and that's what they're getting when they pay Channel Fireball for that.
Guys,
George, I love you, and I know that you can pull it off. You don't have the credit. Well, you should. You were a very early adopter of Flesh and Blood and have sold more Flesh and Blood product than probably any other LGS in the country. You should, but you don't have the credibility of 20 years worth of Magic the Gathering events and all that.
Yes.
Thing.
I
understand.
Do you remember what happened when Channel Fireball joined and they said, hey, we're going to start supporting Flesh and Blood? Do you remember like how hyped people were about that?
I agree. It's got my point here is it's gone too far. That's my point.
I think we're all agreeing with that.
My point is that the lean in the what they are sacrificing for competitive play, in my opinion, is making the average consumer of a TCG is not a competitive player. I was angry this week. I was practicing my Oldham deck and I was playing with Cody, and Cody's like this, he's a super good player. He does a lot of my deck stuff, whatever. And I was like, dude, I just don't feel like I can get it. Like I'm angry because I feel like it's too complex for me. And he said, Louis, you're trying to play the game at a competitive level. You're not trying to play a game at an average level. And what I realized is like the push towards competitive play has made me feel like I have to learn this deck and this strategy and this thing. And I feel like that's at the risk of losing casual players or collectors and investors.
Well, listen, it has. Like, listen, the market is telling you all you need to know right now. I think the market is very anxious about what's happening right now. Like, if not, you wouldn't see the market going down like it's gone down.
Generally speaking, the market is anxious. I think there are a few voices that are like, "This is the best time ever. I'm buying all the things. This is great."
I heard the same thing 2 months ago from them, though.
I understand, and they're still saying it. So
yeah, and they might say it next month when my heart's 3,000.
So I think kind of what I'm saying though is
it'll be an even better time to invest then.
If you are a heavy player of Flesh and Blood and you just want it for the you're not a collector, you're not an investor, you purely just want to play the game. Even I would say casual players, Louis, are enjoying the game. They're at their LGS. They're not on a high competitive level. They're doing just casual games or kitchen table games. I've heard a ton of people say, I got in because of that Channel Fireball deal, or I got in because of this. It was a great entry point for me. It is a great thing for you just to get in and try the game and feel like there's not a huge amount of risk. I did not have to spend thousands of dollars.
That doesn't exist anymore.
I got 2 cases for how many ever dollars.
That was great when Channel Fireball did their Christmas special thing where it came with a box of Crucible First Edition and Unlimited, and it was all at MSRP. That was great, but Mitch, that's not where we are. Channel Fireball just came out at $175 a box for Tales of Aria, and now it's worth $100. And they were the only ones who knew how much product was there. They were the only ones who had their allocations, and the rest of us didn't even have an opportunity to compete with them.
I'm not saying they're not hurting. I'm not saying they're not hurting everybody but the player. I would say the only people that I feel like are benefiting right now in this marketplace are players. People who just want to buy cards. No, I mean, like, yeah, but even like casual players, I can go and buy whatever cards I want for $1 to $2 right now off of TCG Player. Right? Like, I don't have to lay out thousands of dollars
or midtownmerchant.com.
No, like it doesn't matter. I don't have to lay out tons of money and build a deck that I want to build. That's even meta, right? If I'm building with unlimited cards, I can build a decent deck under $1,000, which I know sounds like a lot of money, but like I could build a decent deck for 500 for even less than that. And I think that right now for a lot of people is saying, oh, this is great. I think on the flip side though, there are those who have been here for a long time that are going, this is completely inverted than what I'm used to. That we're actually on more of a, if this game actually survives, which we're warranting that if this continues with Channel Fireball, that it won't survive because the market will collapse and cards will not have intrinsic value and stores won't pick up the product and thus the game will suffocate. But I think kind of what we're saying here, and this is, again, not trying to be negative. It's just like, look around us. LGSs, I have people asking, I can't pick up Flesh and Blood anymore. There are a few stores that like I only sell Flesh and Blood. There's one guy in Australia, I think Mac. I appreciate the dude. He's always funny to talk to, but he's in Australia. It's a different marketplace. How many stores are in the United States? Was it 1,200?
Yeah, something like that.
Like there's over 1,000 stores competing. And when they say that, I'm assuming that's a store that got more than a case would be my assumption.
No. Those were stores with gem accounts, which is very important.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's not.
So that they might have never ever. Was it an active gym account? Like what kind of gym account?
I don't know.
Okay, so I could have just created a gym account, never had boxes, and been counted as a store in the United States. I didn't know that. Sorry, new news to me. I'm just
my point is is that Channel Fireball is doing great things for a focus market, and that's great.
That's not what causes games to grow.
It's just different. The game is growing in a different way. The game is growing more competitively. You're seeing a lot of Magic competitive people.
Louis, what has a larger market cap? Or actually, when do you think Magic competitive play started? How many years in?
I don't know.
A decade in, maybe 5.
I wasn't alive.
I know that's a whole different. It's a whole different genre. It's actually true. It's a whole different genre, or a whole different. Sorry, a whole different period of time, right?
I want a big coffin, by the way.
Competitive
I want
table
a coffin.
What?
When I die soon.
I think all I'm saying, it was a different time than with competitive games, and I acknowledge that. I think going like year 2, you're going all in on $1 million tournaments. It completely focuses the market.
Yeah.
You're
this is the worst
capping off
ever, by the way. We're all
I was trying to turn it back into that.
Well, I think we already gave Mike his praises. We can see that there's some intentionality there.
Listen, I think, but Mike, I think, listen, I think this is what very much bothers me about Channel Fireball is I think their intentions are clear. They want to be the Amazon of TCGs. And the question I think all of us and mainly designers have to ask yourselves is, was Amazon a net positive for authors? And I think the answer is pretty darn obvious, frankly.
Right.
I think that they are trying to get so much power you can't live without them. And it's up to games to decide if they deserve that.
Yeah.
If they decide that Channel Fireball should become the Amazon, you guys, I think these games owe an obligation to stores to tell us that so we can close.
Yeah. And this is
listen, I'll be perfectly blunt. If they're hey, George, I'm gonna give your allocation to Channel Fireball or Games Live, whatever the hell they're called now, that's fine. I got no problem with that. Tell me. And I won't carry the game. I don't need to carry these. I think there's games that want me to carry them that I can't carry because I don't have time.
Yeah.
And
it's
I can go buy, dspirit.com maybe. I don't know. I mean,
Will be taken if they're smart.
Is it taken? Hold on. We pull it up.
Well, I honestly think it's short-sighted on. I think it's short-sighted. I think in 2021, you can create your own brand and IP. Look at some of these places who, there's hat stores that start and they do guerrilla marketing on social media and whatever. They're able to grow into a big thing without Amazon. They're able to grow into their own brand with their own following, and you have this opportunity. I hope that that's what we lean into in the future.
This is what, and I will be. This is where I am very pro Mike. People ask me "Oh, you're simping on Mike." You're damn right. You're damn right. Mike, in my opinion, cares about the small designer, and again, I follow people's actions. Don't tell me what you're saying. Show me what you're doing. Mike has signed. We had the D Brews drop today. All three of us copped one. Mine will be the Mothman. Thanks in advance, Mike. And the promo card. It's a blind box. He has no idea. He probably didn't know my address.
Are you going to open your box or are you going to keep it sealed?
Yes. It's that's how you know I'm all in on Metazoo.
Can we do that
I am opening the box.
Can we open our boxes together? Can we do it together on stream for Metazoo Minute?
We'll do that for Metazoo
I'd be down for that. I'd be down.
Absolutely. So Mike has signed up with an independent t-shirt artist. He did the pin drop with Pin Club. He's helping out these independent companies, that these artist niche companies, and he's making sure his artists get paid. Mitch, I know you bought 25 packs from the artist whatnot thing.
5, and I actually got them signed. They're super cool.
Yeah, I've had enough of people telling me, but they said this. Show me what people are doing, and I'll tell you what they care about.
Yep.
Mike tells me he cares about his artists. That's great. Mike does the whatnot, so his artists get a bunch of cabbage. I pay attention.
Yeah.
Mike is clearly, I think, his Discord message all but said this, which is I'm not very happy with Metazoo doing anything above MSRP.
You mean Channel Fireball?
Yeah, I'm sorry. What did I say?
Metazoo.
Yeah. You think I don't like Channel Fireball doing anything above
when I asked Mike,
This is where
Well-
I get into. This is where I get into. Like the comments are saying that Metazoo is all about the money, and
I love it.
It's
I
all
love these
about
idiots.
it's a pyramid scheme for Mike.
Oh,
And like
I asked Mike.
meanwhile, Channel Fireball is selling up. Like there's been like it's just so annoying because I see what's happening, and I love what I agree with you. Like I love that Mike's going to make sure that eventually boxes are sold at places for MSRP. Like I think that's so good.
I asked Mike, hey, because I'm an online retailer. Hey, Mike, I would love to support the game. What do I need to do? Right. And he goes, sell boxes at MSRP. I was like, cool. Sounds good. Like I can do that.
And at MS, this is the key, and this is where I get angry. Is like at MSRP for both Flesh and Blood and Metazoo, you can make enough money to not screw over your customer.
Yep.
Like
Yes.
my patrons,
You make money.
my patrons are getting
Covenant had a
bundles.
podcast about this.
You make like it's like I don't understand why you need these other companies who are going above MSRP when the market sells out of your product instantly. You don't need them. You just don't like grow organically. And like it drives me.
The hard
this-
thing
I think-
is,
Mhm.
it's just hard. Like how I think it was used as a growth strategy. Growth is good for a small company. I think there will be a point in time where he has to make a decision. Do I want to continue down this line or not? So, yeah.
I like listen, and I mean this. Like, if let me go back to what we talked about earlier. Now that I'm not biting my tongue quite as hard, the bleeding has stopped. If LSS starts to do what Louis talked about, I'll change my tune.
You're looking for actions right now, and you're not.
I'm looking for
seeing them.
actions. Show me how you're going to support the LGS.
Listen,
Like the Armory kit is great. The Armory kit is, hold on, Boo Boo. The Armory kit is great and amazing. It's a great thing for stores. But man, like how come like TCG player now got their exclusive playmat? TCG player.
It's a
Rudy,
really nice playmat, by the way.
SCG, Channel Fireball. None of those are your LGS.
I, as Kitchen Table TCG, will support any LGS that does anything like the Rudy thing. I will on my channel promote it for any LGS that LSS gives any of those promos to. I will promote it free of charge, no strings attached. If LSS is going to support the LGSs in that model, if they want to do that, free open door on my channel every time one of those is up. I will promote it on my channel. And send links to the retailers that get those things.
I will support anyone that goes to Compete Sport. I will make that very clear right now, 100%.
I will support any LGS that is a local game store that runs armor events.
Any LGS
whether it's
that's
online
Compete Sport
or
will have full access to fleshandblood.com as well.
Whether it's online or in person, and my channel is an avenue for them to promote and sell their Rudy exclusive secret layer. You don't need anything else. You don't need like
that is what drives me crazy.
It's
Louis.
2021. The stuff sells itself, and the internet exists. You don't need these big box things. What?
Are we done? Or is our rant done?
Brains mush.
We're just tired, man. We just want our games that we like to succeed.
I'm
And
sick
there's-
of. I'm
there's
getting
cap-
off Facebook. I'm going to tell you guys this right now. I just got my Facebook back, and I'm going to delete it because all I see is why is Louis being so negative about this game, and everyone misses the point that I love this game. That I like. Everyone misses the point that like the whole point of this YouTube channel is because I love Flesh and Blood and I love Metazoo and I love all these things, and all that people see is they miss the point of the passion.
I don't like.
It's all right.
Louis,
There's no
like,
passion content for Flesh and Blood either, though.
Louis,
Just-
like this is where you've got to check yourself, brother. Like, don't worry about it. Like somebody's like, George, you hate Flesh and Blood. I'm like, oh really? Like, do you want to compare collections? I literally bought fleshandblood.com before Crucible. Like, I have been in this game before you were born, Boo Boo. Like, get out of here with this nonsense. Like, there are certainly people who love Flesh and Blood more than me. There ain't many.
You
And
and
let me
I
be
are
clear
different.
here, unless you're like above me on this podcast, you're probably not one of them.
You
So, like,
you
at the
are
end of the
Rudy.
day-
You're like
so at the
Rudy.
end of the day,
you don't
like,
care. I
what?
care. You're like Rudy. Rudy's like, I don't care what people say about me. I care a lot. I care a lot. I care too much.
I know you do.
I care too much. I
Oh,
want
shout out
people
to
like me.
Jonathan Harrison. What's his name?
Oh, the guy that got the. What are you talking about?
The uncut what?
The uncut
Yeah.
sheet, dude. That's
Uncut
amazing.
sample sheet.
I want an uncut sample sheet.
Mike, make it
I
happen.
saw
We
that
need-
thing
we
and
need-
I
we
was
need-
like, you just
Mike,
made, you just gave that guy down payment for a large house. Like
I want.
I'm not convinced it couldn't buy a large house.
I
no,
I
mean,
don't.
that's
I would
fair.
never sell it.
At least
It would
Oh,
go
no.
in the. It would
No.
be in the back. I would move that, Mike. I'll move
See,
it in the
but, like, that
background
would
of
be a
every
life-changing
video.
amount of money for me.
It'll,
And I was like, you know
I'll
what I mean?
move it.
Like,
It'll be in the background of every video.
I
Like,
can't.
that would be
Mike,
worth a staggering amount of
It's
money.
worth nothing if you don't sell it. It's worth nothing to me. I just want it for the backgrounds of my
Well,
videos.
it's worth everything inside for you. It's not worth anything in terms of financial. And
What
the
if-
thing for me is, I
oh my
would
god.
I would have such a hard time keeping it because I'm like, I could literally buy an extension to my
Oh
house.
no,
for that.
I would never sell it. Mike, all I'm going to tell you is that Aoki got a sample heart to spoil a card.
And a 1/1 card from Metazoo, but it's
I think that maybe this podcast should get a sample card to spoil a card for Nightfall.
You mean a sample uncut sheet?
Yes.
Yeah.
3 of them. Great. And like or if Aoki wants to give me his heart, that'd be cool too, Mike.
Can you
both
talk,
would be great.
can you
Both
talk
would
to your
be the
man
best.
Steve for me?
He has to find it
I
first.
can send over some
Find
tendies
it first.
first. It's probably just in a loose box, you know. It's fine, you know.
Nothing brings me more I mean this. Nothing brings me more joy than watching Aoki open Metazoo. He looks like a kid at Christmas every time he does it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it's funny.
He's,
I've
like,
never
so
seen Steve open a box
ecstatic.
of Flesh and Blood. I've never seen it happen. It's
Yes,
weird,
he's
right?
done it. He did it with Ryan Rush.
Oh yeah.
yeah, he did it live with Ryan Rush.
Oh yeah.
I'll say this. The reactions looked a little bit different to me.
Yeah. This is
yeah.
what I'm talking about. Like this. Anyway, I'm gonna bite my tongue. All right, that's it. That's the.
So hey,
That was
Louis, what are
all
we gonna
right.
do?
Made the Zoom
When are we
with you
all
idiot.
gonna fly in and do an ultimate fight pit in your new space? That's
Hey,
what we need to do.
you guys are
we need
invited
to
to my
fly
house.
into Best Virginia.
Listen,
and,
I got space for you both.
I just like calling it Best Virginia and
Best for both.
seeing a space cringe.
I got space
So-
for you both. All right, guys. Thanks for watching the episode. Remember to be kind to the people around you. If you want to go buy singles, go buy it on Mitch's site. If you want to support the channel, go to patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG. And if you want to support George, you can send Hawaiian t-shirts to the address in
From
our
Walmart.
description, and I will forward them on to George in my monthly package that I send to George. All right.
Cool.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.